Hello, I'm Lori Ann Davis, and I'm going to be telling the Old English folk tale, The Teeny Tiny Woman. I remember my mother telling me this story when I was a child, and it was always a favorite. Once upon a time, there was a teeny tiny woman who lived in a teeny tiny house in a teeny tiny village. One day, the teeny tiny woman put on a teeny tiny bonnet, left her teeny tiny house, and went on a teeny tiny walk. On her teeny tiny walk, she came to a teeny tiny gate. She opened the teeny tiny gate and went into the teeny tiny churchyard. In the teeny tiny churchyard, she noticed a teeny tiny bone on a teeny tiny grave. Well, she said to her teeny tiny self, "That teeny tiny bone would make a great teeny tiny soup for my teeny tiny supper." So she picked up the teeny tiny bone and put it in her teeny tiny pocket and went back to her teeny tiny house. The teeny tiny woman was a teeny tiny bit tired after her teeny tiny walk. So she walked up her teeny tiny stairs, put the teeny tiny bone in the teeny tiny cupboard, and laid down on her teeny tiny bed. After she had been asleep a teeny tiny bit, she heard a teeny tiny voice from the teeny tiny cupboard saying, "Give me my bone." Well, the teeny tiny woman was a teeny tiny frightened, and she pulled the teeny tiny blanket up over her teeny tiny head and fell back to sleep. Again, she was awakened by a teeny tiny voice from the teeny tiny cupboard that said, a teeny tiny bit louder, "Give me my bone." Well, she was even more frightened. So she hid her teeny tiny head under her teeny tiny blanket even further and fell back asleep. A third time, she was awakened by a teeny tiny voice from the teeny tiny cupboard that said a teeny tiny bit louder, "Give me my bone." The teeny tiny woman was teeny tiny frightened, but she gathered up her teeny tiny courage, poked her teeny tiny head out from under her teeny tiny blanket, and said in her loudest teeny tiny voice, "Take it!" The end. Thank you.